So my name is Reece Gohil and I'm the Microsoft Alliance Manager here at BCN, and I'm here today to talk to you about Windows 10 end-of-life support that is happening later this year as of October the 14th, 2025, and therefore how we can help you look to move to Windows 11 today. As of October the 14th, 2025, Microsoft are no longer offering security updates for Windows 10 operating system. So what that means is no additional security patches to mitigate against potential vulnerabilities. They are no longer going to be offering fixes against bugs, and lastly, no longer offering technical support against Windows 10 devices. Does that mean that I can't stop working today? No, of course. Windows 10 devices are still going to be able to run as normal, so your organization can still run as expected. However, if you are not moving to the latest technology of Windows 11, you're at risk and greater vulnerability against threats and security risks and potentially software issues. So why are Microsoft implementing this change? Well, Windows 11 offers enhanced security, performance, and a greater user experience. So therefore, moving to Windows 11 is giving you that greater access to the latest technology. This isn't the first time Microsoft made such a change. If we think back to 10 years ago when Windows 7 went end of support, end of mainstream support. So therefore, organizations were making that move to Windows 10 technology. And this is just the next phase of Microsoft's journey into the latest technologies to mitigate against the evolving security threats out there. I think this is a great timing to look at, your current IT estate and actually look to how can you modernize that. But obviously, moving to Windows 11, there's things to consider. The complexity of that move. What does that move look like for yourselves? And things to consider are, your current hardware estate, application compatibility as well, alongside also the size of your organization. All of these things are going to impact the level of complexity for yourselves. Do your current devices do they have the capability of upgrading to Windows 11? And if not, what does a device rollout or a device refresh look like for yourselves? And how complex will that be? There's tools out there, modern device management tools out there from Microsoft. Intune device management. You've also got Windows Autopilot to help with that rollout. So is your organization using them today? If not, how can they help you reduce that complexity as you look to refresh your hardware and move to Windows 11? And also, what if you aren't ready today? There are other options available to you. Microsoft are offering extended security updates for Windows 10. However, these licenses cost more and more each year. So you should always only see this as a short-term interim fix, and actually looking at the end goal is how do you modernize and how do you move to Windows 11 long-term? So lastly, how can BCN help you today? Well, we can look at understanding the complexity of that move. So we can do a review of your existing IT estate and what does it look like in moving to Windows 11. Things like, can we look at rolling out Intune or Autopilot? Do you need to look at a hardware refresh? And if so, how do we help you reduce that complexity and that financial outlay of moving to Windows 11 today? So do get in touch. Thank you so much.